Hey, tech fans, welcome back to Tech Talk Central. Today, we're going to be diving deep into the world of smart TVs
Ooh, fun.
and more specifically, those top models that have both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos support.
Those are really important for like a fully immersive home theater experience, right?
Exactly. So you guys actually sent in a couple of Amazon product
Oh,
pages,
cool.
and we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung 65-inch class OLED 4K S90D series
Okay.
and the Sony Bravia 3K 65 S30.
Nice.
So they're both 65-inch screens.
Those are some good choices to be comparing.
Yeah, let's unpack these and see which one might be right for you.
Sounds good.
Okay, so first up, this Samsung OLED.
Okay.
And the product page says pure blacks, bright whites, and Pantone validated color.
Wow.
I'm already picturing like those deep space scenes,
I know, right?
like where the stars just pop and you get like the inky blackness.
Yeah. And that's really where OLED shines.
Oh, yeah.
Because each pixel emits its own light, so you get those perfect black levels.
Oh, wow.
That you just can't match on an LED TV.
Oh, interesting.
And then that Pantone validation also is really important
For what?
for color accuracy. So what you see on the screen should be exactly what the director intended it to be.
So it's a faithful representation.
Exactly.
That's awesome for movie buffs, for sure.
Definitely.
But what about for gamers?
Ooh, good point.
This TV has a motion accelerator turbo plus bed at 144 hertz.
What?
Yeah, and that sounds seriously impressive.
That is very impressive.
What does that even do?
Well, it means that the refresh rate is super high,
Okay.
and it uses Samsung's motion smoothing technology, so you get incredibly smooth gameplay.
So like no lag.
No lag, especially for like fast-paced action games.
And you'll see all the detail without any motion blur.
Exactly.
Okay, so no excuses for missing that game-winning shot, right?
Exactly right.
Okay, so we talked about movies and games. What about like older content?
Right.
The S90D also features AI-powered 4K upscaling.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so even your old movies and shows should look pretty sharp on this TV.
They should.
So this TV's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sound.
Okay.
This product page highlights both Dolby Atmos and object tracking sound light.
Interesting.
What's the difference there?
So Dolby Atmos creates a three-dimensional soundscape
Okay,
where the audio comes from all around you, even overhead.
that's cool.
It's really designed to make you feel like you're in the middle of the action.
Wow.
Now, object tracking sound light is Samsung's virtualized surround sound technology.
Oh, interesting.
So it tries to use the TV's speakers
Oh.
to mimic the effect of having surround sound speakers.
So even without surround sound, you should get a better audio experience.
Yeah, you should. It
Wow.
should sound more immersive, for sure.
So like if there's a car chase scene, you'll hear the cars whooshing past you
Yeah, exactly.
from left to right across the screen.
Right.
But I'm guessing if you want the really mind-blowing experience,
Yeah.
you still want a dedicated sound system.
You're right, those virtual surround technologies are impressive. But they can't fully replicate the impact of an actual sound system with multiple speakers.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
One more thing. The product page mentions this real depth enhancer.
I've heard of that.
Does that actually make the picture look more three-dimensional?
It's supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, the TV's processor analyzes the image and enhances the contrast.
Okay.
And it only does it in the foreground, so it makes the objects look closer.
Oh,
And that makes them look more three-dimensional.
so like a built-in 3D effect without the glasses.
Exact.
I'd be curious to see how noticeable that is in practice.
Me too. It's supposed to be subtle, but it can add like a layer of realism,
Okay.
especially for content that was filmed with a shallow depth of field.
So like a nature documentary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where you have the animals up close.
So you just pop.
Right.
Okay, so this Samsung S90D sounds pretty impressive so far,
Yeah, it does.
both for the picture and the sound.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the Sony Bravia 3K 65S30. One key difference I see right away is that it uses an LED panel,
Right.
whereas the Samsung's OLED.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone watching TV in their living room,
Yeah.
what does that actually mean?
Well, the biggest difference you're going to see is in the black levels.
Okay.
And the contrast
Oh,
with
yeah.
OLED, you get those perfect black levels.
Right.
Because of those self-emitting pixels.
Yeah.
And that creates that incredible depth and realism.
Okay.
But LED TVs, they rely on backlighting.
Right.
So the black levels, they're just not as deep.
I see. So if I'm watching a movie
Yeah,
that has a lot of dark scenes, the OLED might be better.
that's generally true. But LED TVs, they can often be brighter.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a brightly lit room, that
Oh,
can be
yeah.
an advantage.
Yeah, makes sense.
And LEDs traditionally have had a longer lifespan.
Okay,
But, OLED technology is catching up.
that's true. So if you have like a sunny living room,
Yeah.
the Sony might be a better choice?
Yeah, or if you're watching a lot of content during the day.
Good point. Okay, so the Sony might win out there, but what about color?
Okay.
This Sony has a Triluminos Pro display,
Ooh.
and that sounds like they're going for a wider range of colors.
They are. Triluminos Pro is Sony's wide color gamut technology.
What does that mean?
Essentially, it just means that it can display a wider spectrum of colors.
Okay.
So the picture will be more vibrant and nuanced.
So both TVs are kind of going for that rich cinematic color experience.
Exactly.
Just in different ways.
Right.
And the Sony also features 4K upscaling,
It does.
but it doesn't say anything about AI.
Hmm.
Does that mean it's not as effective as the Samsung?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
So Sony uses a sophisticated database to enhance detail
Okay.
in lower resolution content. So it might not specifically use the term AI,
Okay.
but it still uses complex algorithms
Gotcha.
to sharpen the image and make it look good on a 4K screen.
Okay, so both TVs are using different ways to make older content look better.
Right.
I'd love to see how those compare, like side by side.
That would be interesting. Okay, so when I look at the spec sheets, they get a little vague here.
Okay.
But both TVs likely have similar speaker setups.
Like what?
Probably a 2.0 or a 2.1 system,
Meaning?
2 speakers, and maybe a subwoofer.
So probably not a big difference in audio quality.
Probably not. And remember, if you really want to get the full Dolby Atmos experience, you need to invest in a separate sound system.
Right, so built-in speakers are probably fine.
Yeah, for casual viewing,
But for that cinematic audio experience,
you'll need to upgrade.
you got to step up your game.
Exactly. And that's a really important point.
Makes that.
For any potential TV buyer is to consider your whole home theater setup.
Yeah, not just the TV itself.
Right, because if you want to get the best out of all these fancy audio and video formats,
Yeah.
you might have to factor in the cost of a soundbar or even a whole surround sound system.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, it is. You know what's funny? We were just talking about OLED versus LED.
Yeah.
It's almost like these two TVs represent different philosophies when
Why?
it comes to like how to get the best picture.
Interesting.
Like the Samsung with the OLED,
Right.
it's all about precision and like controlling each pixel individually.
Okay.
But then the Sony with its Triluminos Pro LED,
Uh-huh.
it's more like a holistic approach.
What do you mean?
Like it focuses on a wider color palette and like the overall vibrancy.
It's like comparing like a painter
Oh, yeah.
who like meticulously blends every color
Right.
to like a photographer who captures like the natural beauty
Yes.
of a scene with perfect lighting.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Both can be stunning,
You can.
but in completely different ways.
Exactly. And that's why there's no like right answer
Right.
when it comes to choosing a TV.
It's all personal preference.
It really is.
Now, that's it for our deep dive
Into smart TVs.
with Dolby Vision and Atmos.
I hope this was helpful.
To see the latest prices and deals,
Yeah.
check out the links in the description below
And don't forget to subscribe to Tech Talk Central.
for more deep dives into the tech that matters to you.
We'll see you in the next one.